My name is Agnes Dormon. I live in Fort Massachusetts. I originally came to Massachusetts from Ghana in West Africa. I've been here for, I've been living in Massachusetts for like 35 years, and about 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Okay, so I was very sick, or I thought I was feeling funny, like not feeling well, um, uh, nausea, and using the bathroom frequently, and finding difficulty in walking. So I went to see my doctor, and they did a blood test, and they found out that everything was wrong with me. Actually, they thought I was having a kidney failure. And so my doctor called me and said, wherever you are, don't drive, call the ambulance and go to the nearest hospital. Of course, I didn't listen to my doctor. I drove straight to my husband's office, and he took me to Mass General, and they found out that I was actually, and so all the time I knew that I had high blood pressure, but I've never had high sugar, so I didn't know that it was diabetes. So when I got there, they did the test, and they're like, you don't have high blood pressure, you have diabetes. And I said, no, I don't have diabetes, I have high blood pressure. And so, and you know how at Mass General you have all these doctors, not one doctor, but they are a group. And I'm telling them I don't have diabetes, I have high blood pressure. And they're saying, no, you don't have high blood pressure, because somehow when my sugar went very high, my high blood pressure dropped. I don't know why. Eventually got discharged and went back home, and I guess I tried to manage my diabetes by pricking my finger every morning to see what my sugar is. And somehow you get used to pricking your finger after some time, but after you've been checking your sugar and pricking your finger every day, sometimes you just kind of stop doing it. And when you're not pricking your fingers and testing, you don't know what is happening to your blood sugar. And so in the beginning, you find that your blood sugar might be going down, but if you stop testing, you're never going to know when it's going up. And that was the problem. And I think maybe that's a problem that some people might also face, because as long as you are pricking your fingers and testing, at least you have an idea. But when you don't do it today, you don't do it tomorrow, then gradually you lay off for like a month, then you really don't have any idea, and then you start eating everything. And if you are diabetic, you know that the food that you eat raises your blood sugar. But when the problem with pricking your fingers to check your blood sugar is that you're not able to check it all the time. You may do it 3 times a day or even 6 times a day, but in between you have no idea what is happening. And then if you don't get up in the night to check your blood sugar, you don't know what is happening. And that, I think, is the big problem that you have at diabetes, because as a human being, you can only prick your fingers so many times, and then gradually you kind of let go. I don't need to do it this afternoon, or I don't need to do it tonight, and that's how it goes. Yes. So when I first was diagnosed, when I first knew I had diabetes, and the doctor told me to watch my food, what I eat, it's like, okay, so they'll send you to a nutritionist who will tell you that you should eat like your plate, like maybe a quarter of it should be carbohydrate, the other quarter should be protein, and then you have vegetables and so on and so forth. And the natural thing is to tend to eating salads. I'm not a salad person. I can eat salad. The first time round, I was eating salad like almost every day, and it's true, my sugar did go down, and I was having low sugar episodes and so on. But then at the point, you get tired of eating salads if it's not something that you like. Whenever you're eating food that you don't like, you're going to stop eating it. You eat it for a while, but after some time, you're going to stop eating it. And so I stopped because I don't like salad. I don't mind eating vegetables, but I like my vegetables cooked. And I think you should eat vegetables the way you like it, because somebody said, if you don't cook the vegetables, will you eat it? And if the answer is no, then cook it. because then you will eat it. And if you eat cooked vegetables, your sugar will still not go as high as eating carbohydrate. And so, at least I've learned that now. But what I realize is that when I'm paying attention, I'm able to control it. But when I'm not paying attention, then it goes everywhere. So I've been seeing the Libre ad on TV forever, but I just look at it and I kind of turn my head away. It's like the ads never convinced me to even try it. So I saw the Libre ad every day, and it says that you should test your blood sugar without pricking your finger, because pricking your finger is not that diabetics don't want to check their blood sugar. The problem is the pricking of the finger, and so on. And another problem, when you prick your finger, you're using a Sharpie, and you have to dispose of it properly. You have to put it in a container, you have to mail it back to the, very cumbersome. And so even though I kept seeing the Libre Freestyle, I actually used the Libre CGM, Continuous Glucose Monitoring System. The CGM was from the Freestyle people. It still didn't convince me to try, because I just looked like, oh, these people, they still want money. Then I went to visit my daughter in California, and we're talking about my sugar and everything, and she's like, Mom, why don't you get the Libre? And I was like, oh, I don't know. She kept insisting, and of course my daughter, you can't say no to her, and so she says, call your doctor. And finally she convinced me, and I called the doctor, and they did give me the prescription, and we picked up the Libre. And then they had to make me put it on. You know, I'm from Africa, so I just said that because I'm like, you really want me to stick this thing in my arm? And so my daughter and the husband were like, put it on. And so finally I had put it together, and I pressed it, and it wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. And so we put it on, and then you have to wait for 1 hour. So we waited for 1 hour, and then I checked my sugar, and my sugar was like 427. Your sugar is supposed to be between 80 and 140, and my sugar was 427. That was like an awakening. And all the time I'd been taking my medication and slightly watching what I was eating. And so now I had the Libre on, and then I realized that I can check my sugar anytime I wanted to without having to break my finger. And so I started doing that, and then I started watching what I was eating, and my sugar kept going up and down. Sometimes it would go to like 300, sometimes it would go down to like 90. So it was a very big swings. But then as I kept monitoring it and I kept watching what I was eating, it kept coming down. And after I've just had the Libre for how many months? Since, let me say, beginning of June or end of May. And we are now in August, about 2-3 months. And I'm able to keep my sugar at least between 80 and 180. In other words, when I eat, I try for my sugar not to go above 140. But sometimes it does go above 140 to 150 to 180. But the whole thing is that now I can check my sugar before I eat the food. And then after I eat the food, I can check my sugar 30 minutes after, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It doesn't matter because I don't have to prick my finger. So all I do is either use the reader or use my phone, and I know where my sugar is. So for instance, if I have a potato salad and my sugar goes to 300, I know not to eat that again. And that is a big thing. And another thing that I realize is that I have to eat foods that I like. I cannot eat foods because people tell me that it's going to lower your sugar. I can't. If I don't like salad, you're not going to make me eat it. If I don't like kale, you're not going to make me drink kale juice. So I said that, you know what, let me go back to basics. What do I like to eat? So I just started to, I'm from Ghana. I started to go back to the traditional foods that I grew up with. And I also heard that plantain doesn't raise your sugar as much, green plantains. So I said that let me try green plantains, and I realized yes, it doesn't really raise your sugar as much. And then I realized that when I make vegetable stews, or soups, I can eat as not as much, but it's not going to raise my sugar any much. So I'll make my instead of eating the kale raw, which I can't, I'll make some stew with the kale, with some fish and or meat or whatever, and then I'll eat it with a plantain. I'll make some soup, eat it with a plantain. I'll make whatever I want to make, and I eat it with a plantain. And my sugar might go to 147 or even 150, but it's not going to go to 400. Um, Once in a while, I might try to eat something, and I find that my sugar goes way up, and I know not to eat that again. So the Libre makes it very, very. What it does is that it helps you determine what you can eat and what you cannot eat. You don't have to listen to another person. You don't have to eat another person's food. Somebody might eat yogurt every day, but you don't like yogurt. Maybe you find that you like peanuts, and it doesn't raise your sugar. So it's like something you make your own choices, and the Libre helps you to do that. So with the Libre, you can decide that okay, today I want to eat some French fries. You test your sugar before you eat it, and then test your sugar after you eat it. And when you find that the French fries is sending your sugar through the roof, nobody's going to tell you not to eat it. You make your own decision. And so that is the breakthrough. The thing is, now you don't have to, the doctor or the nutritionist doesn't have to tell you that if you eat that it will raise your sugar. You can find out for yourself, because everybody is also different. So I might eat plantain and it might not raise my sugar. You might eat plantain and it might raise your sugar. Everybody is different.